Hi besties. Today we went a little dark, a little silver, a little rainbow, a little grunge, a little of everything. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jan. I use she, her pronouns, and I only do it for the girls, the gays, and the theys. I also have incredibly short T-Rex arms, but that's a conversation for another day. Please check out the links to my link tree. I have 2 different Palestinian families that I'm trying to raise money for, as well as links to help support the humanitarian crises that are happening in Tigray, Ethiopia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, as well as Haiti. And I also have some immigration resources linked to my bio as well. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, like, hit that share button, all of the things. I would really appreciate it. It would help to grow my channel. I am a smaller content creator. It would really help me out, and I would really appreciate it. If you want to see how I got this look, please keep watching. Okay besties, so I went ahead and primed my lids with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I usually would set it, but I did not because I want these yellow shadows to be able to have something to stick to. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with some shades from the ColourPop Aha Honey palette. So probably just like these bottom 3, because I want like a yellow kind of like undertone to the look, but it's not gonna be like a fully yellow look. So I'm just gonna take that in my crease and just kind of pat, because since the paint pot wasn't set, you definitely want to pat it so that it sets it into place. But you can see the yellow is sticking because yellow shadows are kind of finicky, so if they don't have something to stick to, they can kind of look patchy. So I'm going to take Buzzkill down here, which is this like darker one right here. Ignore my nails, I'm doing them tonight, just to kind of get a little bit darker because I don't want like a super bright yellow. I'm going for like a yellow undertone. Okay besties, that's what we're looking like. I'm going to take some of M170 from the Courtney Quarantine Mod Beauty Grunge Core palette, which is this beautiful powder shadow, and we're just going to get in there just with a fluffy brush. Just get a little bit of brown in there because we're going to start to grunge it up with the Grunge Core palette. So I am just blending that into the crease just a little bit to kind of fade out from that yellow. And I am just blending that all the way in. See, it's kind of starting to look a little murky. That's what I'm going for. So that's what we're looking like. I'm going to take some of Credit from the Anastasia Jackie Aina palette. This is the only Anastasia palette I've ever owned because Jackie Aina. And this is a beautiful dark brown. So I'm going to pop that over here and into the crease just to kind of increase that contrast. I'm such a dork. Increase that contrast and just make it a little bit darker because this is definitely going to get darker. Now, because my eyes are a little bit hooded, some of that shadow is going to disappear until I'm making an Instagram face. But when I look straight ahead, I can correct that and make sure that I get it where you're going to be able to see it even when looking at you straight on, but we still see the yellow on the outer edges, so that's what we're going for. Also, if I ever do notice that like when I'm looking straight on, if you've lost like the yellow or if the darker color has gotten a little bit too high, what I just do is take whatever's left on my brush with the yellow on it and just pop that just like that, because you know I don't want to like load up my brush again with the yellow because that would be too much, but just like whatever's left on the brush is the perfect amount. Alrighty, so I'm going to take my Ghostface Glamlite palette, and because I want to make this like dark but also bright, but also maybe like a rainbow glitter in there. Like my mind goes in 75 different directions. I'm going to take Total Suspense up here. I love using these glittery black shadows. I'm just going to take that over here just on a fluffy brush just to kind of darken that up. So maybe a little bit more. I love the sparkle with that. And I'm just going to take that into the crease as well. It's okay if it gets a little messy on the lid. We will clean her up. Okay, besties, that's what we're looking like. I did take a little bit more of Oh Behave down here from the ColourPop palette. And I just blended it out. I just don't want it to be like a super harsh, dark color. Because I am going to put something on the lid, but I kind of just wanted to make sure that it still had that like diffused, kind of grungy, murky look. Now, while we're here, I am just going to go ahead and clean up the edges. Okay, and now I'm going to take Wanna Play from the Chucky palette from Glamlite right there. because I do want to put a glitter down, but I like to put a shadow down just to kind of map out where I'm going to put my glitter. So I'm just going to take that on my ring finger and just pop that all over the lid, just so I kind of have a map where I'm going to put the sparkle. So just like that. Okay, besties, for the glitter on the lid, I'm going to take this pigment from Sarazaar Cosmetics. I don't know if you're really going to go see, but it's literally like silver rainbow, like gorgeousness. So I have this kind of packaging, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that in the lid, and then I'm just going to apply that with a wet brush. So I'm just going to take a little shader brush that looks like this. So I'm just going to take that brush and I'm going to wet it with some setting spray. You could use like lash glue. Typically I would probably put on this, but since it's like a pigment, I want to be able to pick it up on that brush. I want to make sure that the brush isn't too wet, but it's wet enough to be able to form a paste with the glitter. So that's what that looks like. Oh my god. So I'm just going to put that on where we put the glitter. Y'all, look at that. And honestly, besties, I'm just using my finger to kind of spread that out and just kind of blend it. So just like that. Y'all, look at that. I'm dying. I'm just blending it out a little bit. But also applying it. I just wanted to show y'all what the pigment looks like with back camera. Okay, besties. Now I want to start working on the lower lash line. So for that shadow in the lower lash line, I'm going to take M168, which is this beautiful shimmery shade from the Mob Beauty Courtney Grunge Core palette. And I'm just going to lay that down and pat that in. Sorry for my squeaky chair. I'm just patting that in because I put down my paint pot, but I haven't, I want to make sure I pat it in so it sits. Okay, besties, that's what we're looking like. I'm going to take my Beauty Creations Outer Space black eye pencil. I love this one for smudging. It's so pigmented, but also so smudgy. So we're just going to put that down. And then I'm going to take a flat shadow brush that looks like this and just smudge her out. But when you do the liner after you do the shadow, it kind of helps the liner not be so harsh and dark. Which, like, I love a dark eyeliner. My soul is so emo with wanting like black eyeliner on everything, but just for this look with like the lighter shades, I don't want it to be as harsh. Okay, besties, that's what we're looking like. I want to take some of this ColourPop Aha Honey palette. I specifically want to take Queen Bee right here, which is this like antique kind of gold, and I'm just going to use my finger for that and just pop that into the center and just kind of diffuse it. I don't know, I kind of love that. I think I'm going to take a little bit of Side to Side from the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette, which is just this beautiful kind of sparkly shade. It's more of like a topper. I feel like that's so pretty. I don't know, I feel like with lashes and liner this is going to look fine, but I tend to overthink like when I'm in the midst of doing a look. I feel like everything looks horrible until like literally the end. I'm going to do my face makeup and then be right back. Besties, I have much to tell you. For my blush, I did a combo. So I did the M158 from Jessica Hayes, the Southern Cross palette with Mob as my blush. But then I took Courtney's M150, the cream clay blush, just on my temples. You probably can't even tell, but it's a little bit brighter pink up there. I ended up taking the M168 powder shadow, the shimmery one, on my lower lash line, just to kind of finish it off. I think it looks really nice. For my highlight, as a surprise to literally no one that's ever seen one of my videos, I did the Glamlite Ghostface, the champagne one, on my cheekbones, and then I took the white one that kind of shifts pink on my inner corner. My lashes are the Kiss in Shy, these ones. I love how they look. My liquid liner, my little wing, is my NYX Epic Ink liquid liner. For my lip combo, we have a couple things. So I started off with the Glamlite Ghostface lip liner, which is like a dark brown that almost looks black, but it's got like a purpley kind of undertone. So I started off with that. Then I took my Necromancy shade in Spellcaster in the center. So it's just like a beautiful shimmery brown. Then I took my Mob and Courtney Quarantine M171 matte lipstick, which is just like a beautiful mocha kind of shade, just in the very center. And then to reinforce the edges, I used my favorite black lip liner, which is my NYX Line Loud in Evil Genius. So that's just a black lip liner. That's what that looks like. You can see like definitely the differences between the Ghostface and the NYX. I'm a big fan of how this look turned out, but let me know your thoughts in the comments and post your most random fun fact in the comments. I want to know. Thanks for watching, besties. I'll see you in the next one.